guys, welcome to another episode of New Archetype Overview. Today's archetype, the second one of Soul Fusion, will be Orcusts. Now, Orcusts are a bit of a weird. They have weird designs, but that's because they're like in the World Legacy storyline, which has gotten really weird lately. I mean, we went from crawlers to Mekk-Knights to check this out, and now this. So, yeah, a bit weird, but regardless, they're one of the newest archetypes for it, so they can work with some World Legacy other cards, but mostly they really don't. So, anyway, let's just jump right in to this archetype. So basically, the playing style with this, like, they have a lot of their main deck monsters do banish themselves from the graveyard to plus in certain ways. The only drawback is you can't special summon other monsters except dark monsters for this turn when you use those set effects. So let's get right into it, shall we? So their first monster that they have, which I'm going to go over, is Galatea the Orcust Automation. With her, she's a link too. Her arrow's a bit weird, that way, and basically when she's linked, she cannot be destroyed by battle. And also, like, she can target a banished banished machine that you have, one of your banished machines, shuffle into the deck, and then you can set a Orcust spell or trap from deck. So, and this is kind of a theme for most of the link monsters. They're like some of the like the link 2, like another one, the Ingrisu one does 2, and then the third link 3 one, or like the link 4 one does 3. So they're a bit weird. So they plus off of you banishing, so that's pretty nice. This is actually really nice because some of their spell traps are actually really good. Like one of them I'll get to later, which can actually stun pretty well. So to be honest, she's not that bad. The only thing I don't like about her is her arrows. That's literally it. That's It's just like I don't like her. I don't like her arrows. That's pretty much it. They're really awkward, but whatever, right? So she gets a pretty decent start to the archetype. So their next card that we're gonna get into, it's Ningrisu, but he's really different. Longrisu, the Orcust Orchestrator. So with him, he can shuffle 2 banished machine types into the deck, and then you can send one link monster your opponent controls to the graveyard. And also, he cannot attack the turn that effect is activated, and he can only use it once per turn. So, and his arrows are apparently, and he takes 2 effect monsters, including 1 Orcust monster, and then the other one, like what I didn't get into, the last one, she takes 1 effect monster and 1 Orcust monster. So they're pretty generic in a way, but not really. So him, he's meh. I don't really. He's okay. I mean, the fact that you can make him like what is it? Like you can send a linked monster your opponent controls to the graveyard is fine, but that is if it's linked. Though, I mean, unless you're breaking extra link boards here, but that is if you even get him out when you're extra linked. It's meh. He's not that good. I don't feel I mean, he's okay. That's pretty much where it lies. Okay, that's all I'm trying to. That's pretty much it. Like when I look at him, just like he could be so much more. I feel, but. Regardless, that's what he is, what he has as an effect, and his arrows again are weird, so it's kind of like, again, meh. So that's just him. So I mean, I don't really see him being that really good. So now we got the Link 1 and Link 2 finished. Let's get on to their final Link monster of right now at the moment. The Link 4, it's actually a Link 4, not Link 3, my bad. But a Link 4 Orcustrion, which honestly looks really amazing as an artwork. But anyway, with him, takes 2 effect monsters, including an Orcust monster, my bad. This Link card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. You can target 3 of your banished machine monsters, return to the deck, and if your opponent controls any face-up monsters that are linked, the attack and defense of those monsters becomes 0 and their effects are negated. So, pretty much a boss monster, obviously. So, not that bad of a boss monster. The problem I have, though, with all these link monsters, they require you to have a buttload of banished machines. So, it's like, you have to have a lot of setup for these to work. But, the cool thing with him, and they also require it to be linked as well, which is even more weird. But His arrows again are awkward with the doing this and then going this. So, and also I like that he can't be destroyed by battle or card effects when he is linked. That's actually really nice. Other than that, he's an effect negator, so that's honestly not that bad. He reduces them to 0, so low-key, he is low-key Reptilian support. So that means I can make Orcust Reptilian, right? No, not really. I'm kidding. But yeah, so, and he's a 3k beat 6, so that's honestly not that bad of a boss monster if I've ever seen one. So. He's definitely not no Conductor Tyranno, but what are you gonna do, right? So now that we got the Link monsters out of the way, let's get on to their main deck monsters. And so the first one is Orcust Base Bombard, who is looking really amazing with that visual design. But with him, you can banish him from the graveyard, special summon an Orcust from your hand, except himself, and does the standard all the main deck Orcust have this effect of where you cannot special summon monsters for the turn except dark monsters, and you can only use this effect once per turn. So not that bad of a way of getting out stuff from hand. He is also a tuner, a level 1 tuner, which is awkward because they don't even have synchros, which I guess leads into Savage Strike, but why don't you just release him in Savage Strike? So, it's because, yeah, what? Okay. So I guess you can make some synchro plays off of this. Which isn't bad if Needle Fiber is here. Whooped de doo, you guys have a Needle Fiber target for going into the Needle Fiber, so not that bad. He's level 1 tuner. Honestly, not too shabby. He's just okay. So now from the tuner, we get to their first non-tuner monster, the level 3 Orcust Symbol Skeleton. So with him, he can banish himself from grave, target a Orcust in your graveyard, except himself to special summon it, and then the standard can't special dark monsters. Can't special summon except dark monsters for us to turn. So. Not the bad recursion, so yeah, these are really simple effects, just like the other one. It's a simple effect, not that bad. Just some good recursion, gets another free banish, so just not that bad at all. So then we get into their next one, Orcust Harp Horror, which is a level 4. He can banish himself from grave, special a Orcust from deck. So and then the standard can't special summon except dark. So him. Probably the best one because he can special from deck. So the fact that he can just get him to grave quickly, special on our Orcust is nice. Get some good feel spamming. And I did mention, I think the base is also a dark level 1, so you could get into Beals if you really wanted to. So now that we got through all the Orcust stuff, like monsters, let's go on to their one World Legacy card, which is World Legacy World 1, which is like a really less chunky version of Cosmo Dark Planet, but oh well. What if that storyline is linked, right? But anyway, with this, it's kind of a doozy. 500 attack, 2500 defense, level 8. If this card is normal summoner set, it cannot be destroyed by battle with monsters that are special from the extra deck. And then you can only use the following effects of him once per turn. If he is sent for the grave, you can special a World Legacy from hand. And then when he's banned, he can banish himself, target a banished Orcust, special summon it. Does the standard, except that you cannot special summon except dark monsters after that. So not that bad. I don't really think it's really warranted to run. I mean, I guess maybe if you could, I guess, but to be honest, it's not that great. It's level 8 and it requires you to do a double tribute, and I don't think you don't want to waste 2 of your monsters for a 2500 defense wall that can just not really do anything. I mean, yeah, sure, it can't be destroyed by special monster from the extra deck, but that's just, you're just getting Wally at that point. You're stalling. So, and also, I'd much rather go into a link to like the Galatea than go into this. So, yeah, not really that great. So I don't think anyone's gonna be using that. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but I definitely won't be using it. So now that we got their monsters out of the way, let's get on to their spells and traps. And I'll say their spell and traps are actually really good. So let's get to the first one. Orchestrated Attack, which is Abram versus Ningrisu in the epic Duel of the Fates going on here. But just have some Duel of the Fates music going on in the background of this. Just imagine that. But anyway. When a monster declares an attack, tribute 1 Orcust or World Legacy monster and target 1 monster your opponent controls, banish it. The key thing here, it does not specify where the Orcust or Legacy are on the field. It doesn't require you to be on your side of the field. So just imagine if you're in a mirror match, you could just tribute an Orcust or Legacy on their field. So it doesn't really specify that you control the Orcust or Legacy. It could just tribute anywhere. That's honestly pretty fucking cool. So if you're in a mirror match with like a World Chalice deck or something, you can just tribute their shit and be like, oh, okay. So like tribute one of the World Legacy stuff and just plus or like just banish it, one of their stuff, just keep breaking their board. Yeah, not that bad of a stun card. I honestly really like it. I think you should run 3 of this. And also it's not a bad thing to set off of Galatea. So that I think that's probably the go-to thing with this. You just, when you use Galatea, just set this, you know, I mean, I think that's not that bad. Sure, you can't activate that turn, but to be honest, you're going to be going to Galatea when you're set up anyway. So now from piggybacking off the trap, let's get on to their field spell. I'm going into this in no particular order, so my bad if it's really weird order. But you can, so we get on to the field spell, Orchestrated Babel. So it honestly looks like a humongous tower, but you can activate the effects of Orcust monsters in your graveyard or of Link monsters you control with Orcust in their original names as quick effects. And then during your main phase of this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent, you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard, add this card to your hand. So a cool thing with this, if it's engraved, you can like send a Orcust, like maybe like Horror, for example, and like send him to grave, and send this back to hand, or banish, especially Orcust from deck. Just keep going, you know. And then and also its other thing, like you can make your monsters quick effects, which is nice because honestly that makes it really nice because like now you're like you could set like so, but now you can do Galateas during your opponent's turn. You can do like Longreases during your opponent's turn, and then like also it includes the graveyard, so you can have Horror or like Skeleton and stuff do their stuff from like, you know, going like have their stuff go on your opponent's turn. So honestly, not that bad of a field spell. It's a little bit underwhelming a bit, but I wish it could do more. But for what it is, it's fine. Honestly, I feel. So now piggybacking off the field spell, let's get to another one of their traps. A continuous trap, Orchestrated Core, which is seeing Ibli, or not Ibli, Galatea, but it is Ibli, doing crap. So once per turn, you can banish one monster from your field or graveyard, then target one Orcust or World Legacy card you control, except itself. Now their player can target it with card effects this turn, even if this card leaves the field. If other Orcust or World Legacy cards you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you could send this card to the graveyard instead. So it's actually really nice that it can protect your stuff from battle and card effects. So I feel like that's really nice. And also the fact that you can make your stuff untargetable with card effects is actually really cool. So honestly, not that too shabby of a card. Honestly, I mean, who knows, like, how many you run of this? I mean, maybe like a 2 of, maybe, most likely. But to be honest, for what it is, it's a nice protection card. I really like it. It gives your stuff, like, keeps your stuff on the board and, you know, just, you know, controls the board state a bit. Alright, and so now from a continuous trap, we go to a continuous spell into Orchestrated Einsatz, which is, like, jeez, I think we just seen the aftermath of Core, right? I think we just seen the aftermath. Anyway, so if your opponent no more specials a monster, you could take one Orcust or World Legacy monster from deck, either send it to the graveyard or banish it. So a bit reliant on your opponent here, so which is a little bit of a turnoff, but it honestly works with the deck because you could get more graveyard setup or get more banish setup, which is really cool, I feel. So I mean, there's a lot going on here. I like the synergy with this deck. It does everything it needs to do. It keeps to the one motive, sending to the grave or banishing your stuff. So honestly, not that bad. Sure, it relies on your opponent to know more special, but hey, they're doing that anyway, so they're gonna be doing that regardless of during their turn. So unless you're playing Cyframes, which then this card is really dead. But and also, is this once per turn? Yeah, it is once per turn, so you can only use it once. So, which sucks, but I think if they didn't make that once per turn, it would be kind of broken. So, but honestly, not that bad of a card. I would run probably 1 or 2 of it, so not that bad. And now, from the continuous spell to their normal spell, which is their final card they have so far. And it's honestly the best one, even though it looks like Ningris is doing Necromancy. He couldn't let it go, could he? I guess he couldn't let it go. But anyway, it's honestly their best card. It is their best card, and it's really simple. Send one Orcust or Well-Exceed monster from your hand or face up in the field of the graveyard, draw 2 cards. You can only activate one Orcust a return per turn. Honestly, a card that I'm pretty sure a lot of archetypes would want in their archetypes, a draw 2. I mean, hell, I would want to draw 2, but I would be asking too much at this rate for dinosaurs if we got to draw 2. But anyway, really good. It's a secret rare for a reason in Soul Fusion, but honestly, couldn't have really like given them a really better support card than this. It's a free draw 2, and it sets up your graveyard, which is so good. Like literally, you play this, send harp horror, banish it, spec, you have a draw 2 as well. Just like, holy crap, like this thing sets up so much. Run 3 of it. It's so good. Like, man, like it went from 0. Like, if you didn't want to play Orcus up until now, like, play that. Like, if this should be one of your main reasons for playing the deck, because of this card right here, because it gives you a draw 2. So, I mean, really cool. Like, there's so much shenanigans you could, like, this sets up. So, honestly, really good. It sucks that it's a secret rare, but honestly, it's not that. It's really good for. It should be for if it's that good. So that's it for the cards. So, I guess we'll get to pros and cons. Pros, this deck is getting more support. It's getting more support in Savage Strike when it comes out. So, honestly, that's really nice. I have not seen the new support yet, so sadly I cannot show pictures yet if they have shown them already. So I haven't looked much into Savage Strike as of late, but I do know that it is confirmed that they are getting new support in Savage Strike. So that's pro for this deck. So if you pick up the whole deck now, you could have some stuff to look forward to. So this deck should be getting better. Should be going forward. I mean, hell, if a card like Return is anything, they should be getting more support soon, like better support soon to help make it me more, like, you know, ridiculous. Another pro is it works stuff in the graveyard. So as you all know, graveyard stuff is obviously not that bad. I mean, look at Rodentonen for frogs and banishing stuff to plus. So the fact that it pluses from graveyard is really nice. The fact, like, and also there's so many ways to set up your graveyard. I like it. And also just all around synergy with this deck. I mean, it just all around it. Like, they all work together, and I like that. Like, they all work together nicely. There's not one monster that really makes you think, like, well, this one doesn't really work with these guys. They all kind of, in a way, work with each other, and that's what I like most about this archetype. They all, like, do their own little thing to help each other achieve their goal. Get stuff in the graveyard, banish stuff, plus. It's really nice, and I really like this. So, honestly, not that bad, and like they're not really that bad. I feel like this deck could be a good, like, just like if it gets the right support, this deck could honestly do really nice. And like, it's also not really hard. It's honestly really hard to power creep stuff that does stuff in graveyard. Now, honestly, like if Lightsworns are a thing and Brilliant BA stuff that do a lot of stuff in graveyard, obviously, yeah, it's really hard to power creep. But on to cons, the biggest con is, like, you are going to get hit. I mean, the biggest one, I guess. Like, the only hand trap that really affects you mostly is the Haunted Mansion. Haunted Mansion does fuck you over, sadly, because it, you know, if you try to banish stuff your grave, Haunted Mansion, duh. Also, Ash, I guess, can hurt you a bit, but honestly, there's not much you can really hit. I mean, sure, you can hit the Link 2 with Ash, but honestly, you're setting a card from deck, so you're not really adding. So I don't really think you can Ash that. So I don't really think Ash really hurts you, that result, but it does hurt you with Return. That would hurt like frick. But honestly, the hand traps don't really hurt you that much, but the Haunted Mansion is the one that hurts the most. Another thing that really I feel is a flaw is the fact that they accept Dark Monsters thing. The special summon, you can't special summon other monsters except Dark Monsters when you use the main deck monsters effects. I feel like that really hinders more playability for the deck, but then again, I understand that kind of nerf, because honestly, if you didn't have that, this deck maybe be more ridiculous than it really should. So honestly, I understand why it's there, but I feel like it is a flaw because it hinders what it can do more of. Like, it hinders what it could like what else it could do, and that's the thing I'm getting at here. And I guess another last flaw, I guess, is the fact that they have awkward arrows and their link monsters are kind of underwhelming, like Long Grease. So it's like, cards to be linked to be destroyed with card effects. I mean, same as Gaiatea, it has to be linked. And I mean, the fact that their stuff has to be linked and stuff like that, it requires your opponent to have a setup board as well. And also, it also kind of, at least these guys, they also rely you to be set up. Like, if you don't have banished machines, you can't really use Galatea or Orcustrian or Longrisu. So it's kind of like you have to set up into plus to keep to make them be better than they are. So that's just me. And I guess that's it for pros and cons. On to the, like, what I feel like this deck can do going forward. I feel like out of the gate, it's not going to do much because honestly, we don't have that much of a support yet. I would probably get the cards right now if you are looking to the deck. Get the cards right now. Play it at your locals. I think it's more of a local deck right now. Just test it around at locals. Have some fun, you know, with it. And then once we see what it gets in Savage Strike, maybe we'll get a clearer picture on what this deck can do in competitive play. So honestly, if you're looking at this deck right now, pick it up. I mean, it's actually really nice. Some of their stuff is pretty cheap. Like, most of their main deck monsters are rares. And, like, Galatea and Longrisu are supers. The Link 4 is an ultra. And then the others, probably the spend your card, which you're going to get. Which, honestly, might not be that spendy at all. Probably go down hard is the draw card. Which, honestly, I don't think it's going to be that much. So, once the dust settles and everything. So, you should be able to pick this up pretty budget-like. Should be a pretty good budget deck for you guys. And, honestly, you guys have a lot to look forward to because it's going to get more stuff in Savage Strike, like I said the last few times. So, yeah, so a lot to look forward to with this deck, I feel. So, but yeah, that's it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. What do you guys think of Orcust? Do you guys like the concept of this deck? It's very interesting. I will give it that. I like the fact that they all work together, and I really like that. I love the unity of this deck. It actually makes me want to play it. But yeah, so leave those down in the comment section below what you guys think of the deck. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, definitely subscribe. I should see you guys in the next video. Have a nice day.